Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem has rejected the US-brokered security agreement between Lebanon and Israel, calling it a surrender to Israel, just a day after it was signed. Despite the agreement, Israel has carried out a drone strike in southern Lebanon, highlighting continued hostilities despite repeated ceasefire efforts. The Hezbollah leader has praised the Iran's role in securing the Lebanon ceasefire, calling it a gift of honor, dignity, and strength. A tanker has reported being struck by a projectile in the Strait of Hormuz after the United States and Iran each launched strikes in the worst escalation since they signed their interim peace deal. Britain's Maritime Security Agency said the tanker that was hit on Saturday had sustained damage to its bridge, with all crew reported safe. The Joint Maritime Information Centre, run by a coalition of navies protecting shipping, said it had raised its security threat level as a result of recent incidents. Iran has not directly commented on reports of specific attacks on ships, but Iranian state television reported that the Revolutionary Guards had fired warning shots towards unspecified ships attempting to pass through channels not approved by Iran. The US military has attacked Iran in response to an Iranian drone strike on a cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz, with each country accusing the other of violating terms of a ceasefire agreed on last week. US Central Command said aircraft struck missile and drone storage locations and coastal radar sites, later publishing a grainy black and white video of an explosion labelled unclassified. Iran said a projectile struck the area around a pier in Sirik, and that Iranian naval forces responded by striking US military targets in the region. US Vice President J.D. Vance says the Americans have honored the ceasefire deal, but that if Iran has disagreements, it could pick up the phone. Mohsen Rezai, a senior advisor to Iran's supreme leader Mujtaba Khamenei, has accused the United States of violating Article 5 of the Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) on the Strait of Hormuz. Rezai has said the provision requires the restoration of safe passage for commercial vessels, while also stipulating that Iran and Oman would discuss the future administration and maritime services in the strategic waterway. The UAE has strongly condemned reported Iranian drone attacks on Bahrain, calling them a flagrant violation of the country's sovereignty and a threat to its security and stability. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs denounced the attacks in the strongest terms and reaffirmed the UAE's support for Bahrain. Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC) Secretary-General Jasem Mohammed al-Budaiwi has also condemned the alleged Iranian attacks targeting Bahraini territory. Desperate Venezuelans and rescue teams raced to find survivors as the death toll from twin earthquakes rose above 900, with foreign crews and aid only beginning to reach devastated areas nearly 2 days after the quakes. The government said 172 people remained trapped, 920 were dead, and 3,360 injured after the quakes devastated parts of Caracas and surrounding areas on Wednesday evening. More than 50,000 people were reported missing. The ground shook once again Friday afternoon, a weaker 4.9 trembler that was felt in the capital Caracas and nearby Maracay. The Indian government has formally acknowledged fatalities linked to the so-called Operation Sindoor. The names of 5 personnel of the Indian Army and 1 member of the Indian Air Force have been published on the National War Memorial website. The details have been listed in the Roll of Honour section, where the names of the deceased personnel have been made public. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has announced a framework agreement between Israel and Lebanon following several days of US-mediated talks in Washington. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Rubio said the agreement establishes a framework for lasting peace and security between the two countries. The negotiations were aimed at ending hostilities between Israel and the Iran-backed Hezbollah group, with the United States serving as mediator. Germans brace for sweltering conditions as a heatwave linked to dozens of deaths in Western Europe is expected to move east after temperatures broke records above 40 degrees Celsius. Britain, France, Switzerland and Germany have all experienced record heat in June, and the weather system could test more records as it rolls across Germany towards Poland. Germany's National Meteorological Service issued extreme heat warnings for nearly all of Germany as authorities urged people to save water. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.